So here we are on Zillow's homepage again. And like I said in our last video, we looked at the data that Zillow uses to put in their algorithms and computing their Zestimate and how accurate their Zestimates are. And in this video, we want to put Zillow to the test. So we're going to take homes that we have listed, homes that we have under contract, or homes that we have sold recently, and put Zillow to the test on those. So I actually went and randomly selected 10 properties, and Zillow holds firm to 50% accuracy. And I would say that of half of those homes, of the 10 properties, 5 of them fell within about $5,000 or within a 4% or so margin of what the actual sales price was. We don't need to go through those. Let's just say that at least they had a 50% accuracy rate. But let's take a look at specifically the ones that have a significant issue and why that is. Let's put them to the test on that. So let's start with the first one. And I had kind of talked about this in our last video, that I had a home that we sold and recently, and the square footage was actually highly inaccurate on the information. And I told you that Zillow is going to pull their 3 biggest components. They said physical attributes, the tax records, and the sold price. And if we talk about the physical attributes, they're mainly, if you heard in my first video, they're mainly pulling that from the tax records and assuming that the tax records are correct, which I said most of the time they are not accurate. And here's the prime example of the one I spoke of earlier. This is actually the tax record that we pull from our MLS, where we get information on certain data of the house. And we can see here the building square foot of this property, the tax records were showing 1824. You're going to see another MLS value here, and I don't know if that's because because that's not the MLS square footage, the 2281 that when we listed the house. I don't know if it was rented out later, right after we sold it. So I don't know if they did that or what the case is. I don't know. But the information that we had at the time when we were getting ready to list the house was that it was 1824 square feet, and the bedrooms were 3 and the bathrooms were 2. My client calls me up in a panic and says that's not correct. The builder turned in the information with only the data from the downstairs. They did not include the upstairs. So I said, seller, no worries. Let's figure this out. I want you to go and find your appraisal report when you purchased the home. When the house is appraised, he would have measured the property, and let's pull the accurate information from the appraisal report and list it with that. So here we go. She was able to get me that appraisal report, and hopefully you can see this here. I've kind of marked out some things, but we have 2612 square feet. The garage 485, but when we list the home, we only list it with the dwelling at 2612 square feet. Again, they must have left off the whole upstairs. They also left off the extra bedroom upstairs and the extra bathroom upstairs. So instead of 1824 square feet, we actually have 2612, and we have 4 bedrooms, not 3 and 3 bathrooms, and not 2. So I go in, and as I told you before, Zillow, or our MLS, will syndicate to Zillow and the third-party sites different information from our MLS when we list the property. Initially, all they had was the tax records. So initially their value was, golly, it was something significantly low, probably around $200,000 or so, which made my seller fearful that buyers, when making an offer or even considering viewing their property, would look at the Zestimate or the tax records and be scared away. So that was something we had to address. So Zillow now has the correct information because they got that information once we listed the property. Again, before it was inaccurate. Now it's accurate because we have provided them the accurate information. So you can see here 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2612 square feet. Now they have a Zestimate of 277. Which is a much more accurate Zestimate. The only reason I want to show you this property is because you can see from the tax records at 1824 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, which is what Zillow initially had on here, that they were inaccurate. I don't know if it'll go back and tell us. Let's look at something. I don't know if it'll tell us what they had it before, because I can't remember. I knew it was off, but I can't remember the exact amount that this property had their initial Zestimate on the home. Rent assessment change, listing price, tax assessment, page views. Let's see if this might show. 2011, 2015, and it's just not, it's not showing me what they had, the initial Zestimate that they had, unfortunately, with this house. It's just showing a % change, but it's not even giving us the current year of 2017. Let's see what it has is on the tax rec, or on their price history, if it says anything there. And it really doesn't show us anything there. So I have no way of, I can't remember, like I said, exactly what the Zestimate was before, but I knew it was significantly lower than the 277. But now that they have the correct bedroom and bathroom and square footage, as you can see, their Zestimate obviously would have gone up. And so just wanted to show you that one for tax information. I have another one that I'm actually going to list this week. And when I pulled it up, I noticed again that the tax information was off by 50 square feet, which again, even 50 square feet makes a several $1,000s difference on what we can actually list the house for. So again, I've asked my clients to go ahead and pull the appraisal report when they purchase the property. Okay, so that is one example on how the tax information, the physical attributes that are pulled from the tax information, can be highly inaccurate and will skew the Zillow Zestimate, and it happens more often than you could imagine. All right, let's talk about location here. Location was another thing that Zillow says that they take into consideration when putting, as part of the data in their algorithm that they use when computing values. And as I mentioned before, in regards to location, Zillow doesn't take into consider physical parts of the location, such as does it back up to a green belt, does it back up to telephone poles, just certain simple matters in that regard. Well, here's a prime example of a location of a property we had in Keller. And unfortunately, in the particular neighborhood, we didn't have a lot of comparables to pull from. The tax information is fine, 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2165 square feet. But when pulling the comparables, we didn't have enough. So when I was running my numbers on this, I had to go outside of the neighborhood, which is what I'm assuming Zillow did as well, to pull in their Zestimate. The problem is if you know this area, you'll know that there are neighborhoods that are in a better condition, and there are neighborhoods that are not as nice. Now, this is a great location, but there's always some that are better and some that are worse. What I particularly did, because I know the area, is I went to neighborhoods that were similar to this neighborhood, not ones that were a whole lot better and not ones that were worse. We went similar to this neighborhood when I ran my numbers. Now, you can see when we listed the property, it should tell us there's estimates at 341, and when we listed the property, we listed it at 315. Let's see if we can go back here. So this was back in March. No, I'm sorry. Actually, that's when I sold it to my clients at 198. So they didn't, or it was listed at that point. But we listed it again 2 years later. We listed it for. Let's see here, 417. Okay. On 417, we listed the house for $315,000. And it went pending within 6 days at $315,000. So that should tell you that we at least got full price. I cannot tell you what we sold the house for. I will tell you that we sold it for more than $315,000. I will tell you that what we sold it for, which was not significantly above, but a little above, what we sold it for was actually what it appraised for as well. My point here is their Zestimate at $341 is off. It's inflated from what actually the home was listed, what my comparable showed, what we listed the property for, what we sold the property for, and what the property appraised for. So if you're a buyer and you're coming in assuming that the Zestimate is correct, you're offering too much. If you're a seller and you're assuming that the Zestimate is correct, your house might sit on the market and you might spin your wheels trying to show the property and maybe get an offer, but it won't appraise, and so you're back to square one again. So sometimes even if it's listed but more on Zillow, may not actually be the most optimal thing to go by price. Let's look at another one. This house actually that I'm about to pull up right now, we do not have currently on the market. And we are going to, let's see, this house has actually never been sold on the market. So the only data that Zillow has to go from is what they have pulled from the tax records. So what I first want to do is take a look at the information, the basic information, which is the 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,564 square feet. That's correct. I won't argue with that. What I'm looking at here, though, is the Zestimate, $182,000. This property, if I was to market today, would be listed somewhere between $210,000 to $215,000. Now, we're not ready to list the property, so don't quote me on that price just yet if you're interested in this home. But I would be listing it somewhere between $210,000 and $215,000. So we know that we are already going to be somewhere about $30,000 at least off from the Zestimate. The Zestimate is about $30,000 low from what we have. Now, if you were to run your calculations, I guarantee you, you will see that Zillow says that they fall within about 9% of the median accuracy rate. This is well above the 9% median accuracy rate. As a matter of fact, this is well above the, we'll see, it's about 20%. Maybe it fits into that 20% category. So why is it off? This is a simple neighborhood. Are they off because they're pulling homes from, there are neighborhoods around this location that are not as nice? Did they go out of the boundary lines than what they should have? I stayed within the neighborhood itself. And in the neighborhood itself, I could see that the average home is selling at $200,000 for this square footage and 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom home. So you ask, well, why am I listing it for $210,000, $215,000? Why am I listing it for more than what every other house is selling for? Well, this particular home has gone on and they have put in wood floors. They have put in granite in the kitchen, and they have well, they didn't add it, but it has a extended wood deck. So those features right there, I'm already going to list it at least $10,000 for this market area. Now, every market area may mean a little different money, but for this market area, I know I'm going to at least list it $10,000 more based upon the interior features of this property. I could probably, so that's condition. Again, I told you in the very beginning, Zillow, one of the major components, which is the property's condition, is not taking into consideration in the algorithms that they use in computing value. The second thing that they're not computing here is the markability. I know, because I work this market area quite often, that a 1,500 square foot home in this neighborhood at a price point that it is will sell quickly. It is of high demand. There's nothing else out there like it. People want to get in on the lower end home. This is one of them. And this home will show very well. So I can push that markability to say, hey, we're going to not only price it a little, at what I think that the price is, the adjusted value based upon the property condition, but based upon the markability, we're going to push the envelope even more. There's nothing else to compete with. It's a very marketable home. So Zillow, again, does not take into consideration in their algorithm one of the other major components that we use, which is the markability of a property. The condition and the markability. Let's go to another one here. Well, we won't go through every single one of them. We just want to highlight some of the ones so I can show you and go through what they call There are three major components: the physical attributes, the location, the square footage. We've kind of already hit that. We've hit the tax records. We've actually hit, even on property condition and marketability. Here's another one. I'm just going to go, I don't know if that's going to give it to me or not. Might need to put, well, there we go. Here's another prime example of a house we sold at least 6 months ago. And in 6 months ago, I can guarantee you in this market area that this home is in, it is probably appreciated another 7%. So this price that we have, that we sold it at, is not going to take into account appreciation. But Zillow says they update their information almost every other day or whatnot. So their Zestimate is at $182,000. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2,062 square feet. I'll agree with the basic information that they pulled from the tax records and from when I listed the house. We hit it nail on. What we're not nail on is the Zestimate. And we'll scroll down here again and we'll see what did we list this house for back in February. Well, in February, we listed this house for $210,000. It went under contract at $10,000, and when the listing was removed, it was at $210,000. Then it became a rental house. We're not interested in the rental, but we're interested in why. Again, I cannot tell you what we sold the house for, but I can tell you it was more than $210,000. So automatically we can see that this Zestimate is again off over $30,000. $30,000 on a $182,000 home is going to put us about well over 20%. Is that correct? Oh, well, not quite yet 20%, but well over the 9% margin, the median accuracy rate of 9% in DFW. We've exceeded that significantly. One other property we're going to look at again is, let's go to one. Let's close out of that. And let me just show you one more example, because if you haven't gotten it yet, I want you to understand why I caution you as a buyer or a seller to use the Zillow, Zestimate, Realtor.com, or any other online instrument in finding your home value. I almost even caution you if somebody sends you, hey, this is what I think your house is worth. I caution you in that regard as well, because like I said, some of the major components, which is the condition of the property and the marketability, can only be determined during a physical inspection of the home by a real estate professional, such as myself, by the way. All right, so here's another one we sold. We sold it back in June. We actually we listed it in February and sold it in June. I knew this house, again, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,500 square feet. Great. Tax information is correct. I agree there. Don't agree with the Zestimate. And again, this is going to be a property that whatever we sold it at, and let me show you what we listed it at. Can't tell you what we sold it at, and I can show you what we listed it at, which was, let's hit this little button here. We listed it at $192. I don't know why it's not showing it to you, but it would have showed you pending at $192, and then it would showed you removed at $192. Again, it won't show you the actual sales price. And I honestly don't remember what the sales price is. I'd have to go through my documents on this one, but I know it was either at sales price or above sales price. I will say that. So let's even just go with that 192 figure, just for simplicity's sake. Again, another prime example of condition and marketability. I don't know why they're off 179. Is it because I gave maybe $20,000 of adjustments because they remodeled, they put in granite and a tiled backsplash on this property, whereas the other homes didn't have that? Is it because they remodeled the master bathroom when the other homes in the neighborhood haven't done that? So I was able, and they had wood floors, so they had some features that I was able to make a positive adjustment for and give them value for. Zillow didn't do. Is that why they're off? Or are they off because of location? In other words, are they off because maybe they're pulling homes again from a nearby neighborhood across the street that is not of the same quality of neighborhood as this particular neighborhood? Or are they off because, again, they're not taking into consideration the marketability of the property? Although it was back in December and January, when you would think that it's a slow time of the year to sell, I knew the market was still hot in this area, and I knew that a 1,500 square foot home, priced at the value that it was, would sell very quickly and sell very well. So we pushed the envelope again on the price because of the marketability of the price. So here we go again. Conditions not taken into consideration. Marketability is not taken into consideration. And I have to wonder, did they even take into consideration the location? We do know that they have the right bedroom, bathroom, and square footage. So there are, 5 examples, again, of the Zestimates that are inaccurate, and inaccurate by more than the 9% median accuracy rate that they quote for the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if you're in this area and you are trying to find out the true value, look at it if you want. Don't give any weight to it. Call your trusted realtor. Get in touch with me. Or you can register here on our website and leave us your information, and I'll be in touch with you soon. I'd rather see you find out what the actual value is instead of relying on Zillow. So hopefully you see that we've put it to the test, and the test was not, well, it failed. It failed.